Good morning and welcome once again to your favorite program on TV. This is Channel 196 on Star Times. This is Cool TV. My name is Dapo Banjo. Welcome once again to CROSSFIRE. And I'll be driving the show today as usual with my co-anchor, Ishoma Againe. Ishoma, good morning. How are you?
Beautiful. Good morning, Nigerians, and you're welcome to the show.
All right. Now, let's quickly, with all the anticipation towards the Saturday elections, curtains will be drawn away from all the other states that are winning attentions. And I'm very, very sure that yet in a little while, so many things will be unveiled as we approach Saturday, the 11th of April, 2015. With just only 5 days to the state and the House of Assembly elections, every indication is showing that there is a close view on some certain states, and that includes Lagos State, Rivers State, Abia State, and a few other states. And with these 5 days, the governorship and the House of Assembly elections in Nigeria, while many states are calmly waiting for the D-Day, tension is rather building in so many others. Today on CROSSFIRE, we will be taking a general look on the campaign, the fallacious statements, the inflammatory statements, the anger as Nigerians vote again. Alleged anti-Igbo comment which came from the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, will be our first major story. And we'll be taking an excerpt, on the meeting that was held with all the Eze Indigbo in Lagos. And this has been generating a lot of controversies, and the video and the audio tapes have gone viral. We'll be taking a close look at this and as we go on the show. Ishama, the Oba of Lagos came out and made this statement, and it's very baffling to me that is coming from a monarch, a first-class Oba in Nigeria, respected, relevant, and this is, going towards our brothers who have, some Igbo people in Lagos are born, bred, buttered here. It's not that they probably entered vehicle, to come to Lagos. They are indigents. They've lived all their lives in Lagos. And you see, when we talk about the laws of the land, you and I will agree that when you live constantly in a particular state for about 10 years, you're as good as a citizen. So many of these people that the Oba, is talking to or is making the statements to, really and truly should be seen as Lagosians, even though they are Igbo speaking. But the truth is just that we'll take a look at this video.
Can I say something before we take a look at the video? In my own opinion, and this is the honest truth, Oba Rilwan Akiolu represents only, he doesn't represent the majority of Lagosians, of the Yoruba people in Lagos State. I am a non-indigen by birth, or by state identity, but by birth, I am a Lagosian. Same with many other persons. And one thing I know for sure, and I respect the Yorubas for that, they are so accommodating and welcoming. Majority of us who are from other states, other parts of the country, know the kind of treatment even those of us who are from that state get. How much more a state like Lagos that has opened their arms. I think in spirit of moving forward, non-Yorubas, or Igbos, Ijas, Ishakiris, people from other tribes and parts of Nigeria should not take into consideration whatever Oba Rilwan Akiolu said. And I had to read through, and I saw the lecture which the first president of Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, gave. And he was talking about the benefits of tribalism, how America were able to use tribalism, the differences in their tribes, to build America and push it forward. And I am right now calling on Nigerians, Igbos, Hausas, Edos, people who are residents in Lagos State but are not, by virtue of their identity, who are not Yorubas, but should put aside whatever grievances it is they have as a result of that audio and video tape. They should put that aside and focus on the fact that if we take into consideration whatever it is the Oba said, we will rid ourselves of the benefit of coming together to work with this administration. So I am please appealing Please, please, for the sake of peace, Lagos is our own. We have our businesses here. We have our families here. Let us move forward and put that aside, please.
All right, let's take the video now.
By the time all of you left your hamlets, your villages, you came to one of you goes against the Ambody I pick. That is your end. I swear in the name of Almighty Allah, Lagos and the owner of for the time being. Listen, because this is an undivided share. The palace belongs to the dead, the living, and those coming people. On Saturday, if any one of you, I swear in the name of God Almighty Allah, goes against my good that Ambody, inshallah, will be the next governor of Lagos State. The person is going to die inside this water. I'm not ready to beg, appeal to anybody. And that's why Ashadu and the governor says, that is your own. Even the two of them, they cannot disobey me. But nobody knew how I pick Ambody. Jimmy is my blood relation. And I told him in a plain language, he can never be governor in Lagos for now. Future belongs to God. I'm not begging anybody to go, but you must not, I repeat, what you people cannot do in Onitsha, what you cannot do in Aba or anywhere. If you do what I want, Lagos will continue to be prosperous for you. If you go against this, you will perish in the water. Finish.
I mean, what can be inflammatory? What can be derogatory? What can actually incite violence? Like the words of Oba Akinolu of Lagos State. I mean, this is something that we stand against. We have been pledging and we have been canvassing for peace in our nation. With all the paparazzi and so many things that happened about the presidential elections, you all agree that, I mean, the most anticipated, supposedly violent presidential election eventually went, and everything, was curbed, and we received what we can call calmness in virtually all the states of the Federation, apart from a few pockets of violence that were immediately curbed because, I mean, the number of casualties recorded was nothing, really, even though a few lives are lost. But the truth is that, I mean, we expected, people actually look forward to a more violent elections. But, I mean, really and truly, Ishoma, my position on this is that the Igbo people are not backward. These are people who know their rights. These are people, even though a lot of statements have been made across all the quarters, and people are saying, even the representatives of the Igbo people in Lagos have been making statements. And even, party, if you look at it from a party point of view, PDP stalwarts have been making statements condemning the statement, the utterances of the Oba about the Igbo people in Lagos. I mean, information have it that Ishoma will be getting married even very soon. And Ishoma being an Igbo Delta person, she's getting married to a Yoruba man. And that's to tell you that, see, we are too interrelated for any Yoruba person to come up
and divide.
And come and divide us.
That's the reason why I say and I maintain strongly that Oba Akinolu represents just himself, his opinion, whatever he said.
He just representing the Yoruba-speaking people in Lagos. He's the Oba.
Look, Dapo, come on. The fact, okay, when Governor Ayefayeshe made the statement wishing General Buhari death, the whole death threat and all of that, he's the governor of a state. Does that mean that whatever it is he said, he was representing the people of Ekiti State? No. The fact that he is a monarch, yes, he is an Oba. But whatever it is he came out to speak, as long as he was not speaking on behalf of his chiefs and his people, whatever it is he said in that video was his own opinion. That was his own opinion. That does not in any way represent, that does not in any way represent the wishes of Ambode. It does not represent the wishes of Tinubu. It does not in any way even represent the wishes of those of us who believe in the APC government.
Now, even Ambode came out yesterday to say, my government, that if I'm elected, that if he eventually becomes the next governor of Lagos State, that he will not, be tribal in his dealings. He made that statement very categorical yesterday.
And I strongly believe that.
Yeah, but let's look at it. I don't see that coming from even an Ashwaju. I mean, in the government of Fashola today, Ben Wabuhize, for God's sake, he is an Igbo man
from Anambra State, a commissioner in Lagos State.
And he is a commissioner in Lagos State. The Oba failed to actually see that there has been a proper integration of every tribe and tongue represented in Lagos.
And guess what? There are so many non-indigens of Lagos State who are Igbos.
Who won in the last elections, and they are taking up senatorial seats.
This only happens in Lagos State. And the truth is, this can only happen in Lagos State. Because if you go, let me use my state, for example, Delta State. I'm from Ukwani. I'm an Ukwani person. I cannot go to Ope and contest. I would not even get a vote.
Recognized.
I would not even
because
get a vote.
Because that's not your base.
Because that is not my base. But here you come in Lagos, because Lagos is a place for all, truly. And then the government of Lagos will understand that Lagos is not is not made up of only Yorubas. We have other tribes here. So even when they appoint, they also give nominations and appointments to non-indigenous. Why? Because they want that sense of belonging here. And that is the reason why I'm appealing to Lagosians and people living in Lagos, whether you're an Igbo man or you're a Hausa man or whatever tribe, do not take into consideration. Because the truth is, if out of anger, you decide and say, because of what Obakeli said, I will not vote for Ambode. The truth is, you've only used your hand in destroying the better relationship that your people would have gotten.
Yeah, but the truth is that we have two Yoruba men who are contesting for the seat in Lagos. One is Jimmy Agbaje, the other one is Ambode.
But then people, people should be smart enough to look at the side that has been more welcoming and encompass it to non-indigenous.
I don't belong to that school of thought. I am just of the opinion that on Saturday, Lagosians particularly, they are going out there to take their decision. Don't forget that they are legitimate PDP. Hold on, Ishama. They are legitimate. There are people who are Igbo people who belong to the PDP as a party from the beginning. It's not that they are trying to be, they are trying to now sway to the side of APC. They have always been PDP members. And they are positioned to vote for Jimmy Agbaje come Saturday. Do you understand? Not even minding the statement of the Oba. And don't forget, I was just looking at it very closely yesterday and I discovered that the spokesman for APC in Lagos State, his name is Joe Igbokwe.
An Igbo man from Anambra State.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that the Oba, with all due respect should withdraw this statement. This statement should be withdrawn. We're using all platforms to pass this message across on the radio, in the news, in the print media, in the electronic media, to ensure that all the authorities that can make this happen get this done in the shortest possible time, that this statement is being withdrawn by the Oba. We'll go on a short break now, and then when we come back, we'll take you through the package that we have for today. We're looking closely at the elections in Lagos State vis-a-vis the similitude that it has with the already taken presidential election. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Crossfire. In a few days' time, Lagosians, Ekiti people, all across so many states of the Federation will be going out again to approach the polls as they select the #1 person across so many states in Nigeria. So the state elections and the House of Assembly elections will be taking place on Saturday, April the 11th in the year 2015. And on Crossfire, we'll be looking at, a few states, comparing them with all the antecedents and so many agitations that has been going on in this particular state. And our classical example is going to be Lagos State. Now, I know that there is a lot of build-up, in Abia State. There's a lot of build-up in River State. There's a lot of build-up in Delta State. We have a lot of build-up already in Ekiti State. And Lagos State, I mean, the build-up really started. I mean, the upsurge was experienced by the statement that the Oba, said. If we continue talking about that, I mean, it's just enough for us to go through that, throughout the duration of the show. But I mean, we've made our statements known, and on the show we have taken a position. Now let's quickly look at a lot of elements that are either going to work for or against the governorship elections. I mean, the APC eventually have taken over the federal. How do you think this will play out across all the other states, that elections will be taking place for the governorship election? How do you think that the APC winning in the federal, do you think it's going to have anything? Because as at a conference on Saturday, the president was still saying that PDP will win in 24 states. Assuringly.
The honest truth is, in my own opinion, because everything I say here,
do you think that General Buhari winning the elections and becoming the next president of Nigeria will affect some result in some states, as we, some states that voted, for instance, they voted in the presidential election for PDP. Do you think this will change anything in some of those states? Of
course, yes, it will. In my opinion, yes, it will. One thing I believe is, before now, there was a problem I noticed. In my own opinion, there was a problem I noticed in the sense that when the PDP were at the center and then we had opposition parties at the state level, development in those states, or there was a conflict, there was a bit of a conflict in those states. Why? Because the relationship with the center was not solidified on party basis, which we know in our own analysis yesterday is wrong. But now I see, and I want to believe that having APC winning in more states will consolidate on development, in the sense that when you have the APC-led government at the center and you have APC governments at the state level, now there will be a very, very, very smooth and cordial relationship. Now, because let me use Lagos, for example, as a classical example. You see federal projects in the states being handled and funded by the state government. Why? Because the relationship with the center, that is the federal government, was not smooth on party basis. But now when you have an APC at the center and you have APC states, APC, political party, where in Lagos State and in other states, you see that there will be a cordial relationship. Now with a much, much more responsible federal government, they will take and man their responsibilities. They will handle federal projects, and they will leave the states to be able to fix the state roads and other state projects. This is a question, a perspective to this. Yeah. Where does the challenge or the competition set in? If all states are being governed by the center, by the party, the ruling or the governing party in the center. I mean, because it becomes really, when you have a PDP in the center like we have today, and you have some other states, like, classical example would be Lagos State, APC, and PDP in the center. Now, the relationship may not have been really cordial, but the truth is that when you look at development in a place like Lagos State and the kind of challenges that the state probably is having with the center, being an opposition party, like I was asking you yesterday, in Lagos State, this is a might, and I don't know, there's every possibility that it plays itself out again. Opposition party always rule in Lagos. Opposition party always rule in Lagos. And don't you think, 16 years, hold on, Ishoma, look at this perspective. Don't you think that the statement, this inflammatory statement, fallacious statement, like Chukudi would say, don't you think it could really affect the polls in Lagos come Saturday? Well, I would not override that fact. But that's the reason why I said earlier on that now this is the time we want Lagosians, we want people to think outside the box. Do not base your actions on Saturday based on your anger or your emotions. Do not overlook. But you know that we can be very emotional. I know, but then of course we can be. Of course, and 2011 polls were very emotional, but then we saw the negative effect it had on us. For 4 years, we saw the negative effect. And that is the reason I'm telling Lagosians once again, do not allow that sentiment becloud our proper sense of reasoning and judgment. No, but in this case. Because if we do, we'll be the ones to suffer. You would agree with me that Jimmy Agbaje is equally a very good candidate.
I have listened to him. I have watched some of his rallies and campaigns. Even I was present at a particular,
Do you know
accidentally, I was
opinion
present
is?
at a particular town hall meeting. And I see this guy as a good candidate who have the the potential to reposition Lagos State also.
In his own right, he is a good candidate. But at the end of the day, we have people who are professional orators. Oh, of course, they can dish out the words. And many of them also, and we also have some who do not speak. They're not good at public speeches. But when it's time to work, oh, Lord, when Fashola was to come on board, of course, I still recall the statement. You are sounding like
you have worked with somebody before.
No, I haven't. But I recall the statements people made. I look at him, he's so quiet, he's a lawyer. Oh, come on, lawyers are boring people. What will he do? But he came, and everyone living in Lagos would testify that that man worked. And we can see, now this is not audio development.
He worked in VI,
he worked everywhere, and we can see. And we can see.